Major releases are coming to the WWE main roster, but first we have more on the WWE debut of a former AEW champion. On last night's video, we would bring you news of a likely jump from All Elite Wrestling to WWE, with former AEW TBS champion Jade Cargill expected to make the move in the near future, this according to Fightful Select. Well, we now have even more information from 3 outlets that outline how the move came to be, as well as what the future holds for Jade in WWE. And let's start with a new report from PW Insider. They claim that Cargill's contract could be up as early as this week, and they wrote, "In speaking with AEW sources this morning, the belief is that her current AEW deal expires as soon as this week, and while there were discussions with Cargill about staying, nothing new was ever agreed to. She is not currently slated for any other AEW appearances, we are told. If and when her deal expires, she would be free to sign elsewhere." Fightful Select have also revealed more information on the situation, adding to speculation that the move could be imminent, and the report notes, "Those we've spoke to within WWE are of the belief that her deal may be structured in a way that could see her sign imminently. There was discussion of Cargill holding option years in AEW, but we've not had that confirmed. We haven't heard why specifically that Jade Cargill is looking to make the move, but one source indicated that it isn't financially motivated." Fightful would then add that following the taped AEW TBS Championship match with Chris Statlander this past Wednesday for tonight's episode of Rampage, Jade would be greeted with hugs backstage from multiple members of the AEW roster, with it being seen at the time as a farewell from the company. PW Insider have also noted that Jade was teary-eyed when leaving the ring after the bout, another sign that something is in the works. Fightful would add that several top WWE superstars had heard that Jade was WWE bound as early as last week, and that it was even a topic of discussion backstage at Monday Night Raw. Dave Meltzer has also given his 2 cents in today's Wrestling Observer newsletter, with him revealing that individuals within WWE feel that Cargill will skip NXT, heading straight to Raw or SmackDown, and the report claims, "Jade Cargill is believed to be WWE bound as her contract is expiring and the two sides didn't come to terms on a money figure for a new deal. Those in WWE believed she was coming and that it would be on the main roster rather than developmental, but I could see that going either way." Another person in WWE described it to us as that her name was being talked about a lot, but the deal was not completed at press time. Next up, AEW was set to sign a major streaming deal with Warner Discovery. Throughout AEW on TBS and TNT, fans have wondered when the company might appear on the Max streaming service, formerly known as HBO Max, which is also owned by Warner, similar to how WWE show their premium live events on Peacock through their deal with NBC Universal. According to Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast, somebody who has sources in both AEW and Warner themselves, the possibility of Max becoming All Elite is edging closer, and he would say,
I think next year is going to be very interesting for them, considering the rights deal is going to be done soon. Max, I feel confident to say Max is going to be their home. I also feel confident to say that they're going to run 12 pay-per-views a year.
Interesting predictions.
Not a prediction, my friend.
Oh, no?
I feel confident to say it.
Ah, okay.
I feel very confident to say it.
Zarian seems pretty adamant that this change is coming. This as the AEW pay-per-view schedule continues to grow over the course of the past year. We've seen 3 more events added to the AEW calendar recently, on top of the original 4, with the introduction of Forbidden Door, All In, and most recently Wrestle Dream, which appears to be just the beginning of their pay-per-view expansion. And next we have worrying news concerning a former AEW World Champion. Pro wrestling is known to take its toll on wrestlers' bodies, something a top AEW star would discuss this week on the Believe with Pro Wrestling podcast. According to current AEW International Champion Jon Moxley, a doctor recently told him of the damage that he's done to himself over the course of his near 2-decade career, noting that he has the arthritis of a 70-year-old man, and Moxley would say, Nothing to me is worse or does more damage than just traveling. For years it was like traveling was my job. The wrestling part was kind of a reward at the end of the day. You know, your life becomes traveling at a certain point in this game. It's really amazing how that adds up on your body and your joints and stuff. The doctor last year told me that I have the arthritis of a 70-year-old man, and that was quite humbling. That was a year or two ago, so by now it's like a 72-year-old man. I don't move very well in the mornings, but thank God shows are at night, because by then I'm pretty loosened up. Having spent 8 years on the road for WWE under the name Dean Ambrose, a company known for its vigorous road schedule, especially back then, it seems that it's one of the main reasons for his current condition. With that said, he now finds himself in All Elite Wrestling whilst working the occasional independent bookings, with this being far less grueling on his body. What the diagnosis means for his long-term future, however, remains to be seen. Next up, the date for Roman Reigns' next title defense has been confirmed. Roman Reigns currently finds himself at the top of the WWE food chain, with him holding both the WWE and WWE Universal Championships, making him the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. As of late, the Tribal Chief has taken on much more of a part-time position on the roster, with him typically no longer working the house show circuits, with his matches on television and pay-per-view being kept at a minimum. Having not appeared on SmackDown since August 11, fans have wondered when the next time they'll be seeing their head of the table, and it looks like it could be a couple more months away yet. According to today's edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Reigns is next expected to defend his undisputed Universal title at the upcoming Crown Jewel event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, this on November 4. This appears to rule out a potential defense at the upcoming Fastlane event on October 7. And next up, The Rock vs Roman Reigns was a lock for WrestleMania 39. This year's Mania would be headlined by a bout between the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, this with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship on the line. With that said, it appears that this wasn't always the plan, as The Rock would appear on the Pat McAfee show earlier today to reveal talks that he had over main eventing the show with his bloodline. The Great One would detail a meeting that he had with Nick Khan and Vince McMahon that led to the idea of Roman versus Rock, and he would say, "Alright, so The Rock headlining WrestleMania with Roman Reigns, SoFi Stadium, that was locked in. What we were doing, the way we were doing it, we knew we were doing it, we were doing it. But let me just tell you, so about in the beginning of 2022, Nick Khan, who we know, he's the man, he was very instrumental in bringing Vince and I together. We all flew to LA, we met, we sat, we toasted life, toasted the business we love, and about an hour later, we started talking about the potential of what this match could be between myself and Roman Reigns, headlining WrestleMania at SoFi, and we shook hands and we hugged right there, all three of us at the table, and said, let's do this." Rock would then go on to reveal that whilst the intention was there, the idea was put on hold after being unable to nail down the finer details and how it could be used to benefit the whole roster. However, he did tease that WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia is an option on the table, which perhaps justifies WWE's decision to keep the title on Roman instead of giving it to Cody Rhodes. On top of this, the revelation does put into question whether the American Nightmare will finish his story at next year's Mania. And next up, major releases are coming to the WWE main roster. Following the recent merger of WWE and UFC to create the TKO group, speculation has arose concerning potential cuts to both the staff and talent roster of the wrestling side of the business, with release number 1 happening on Wednesday when board member Frank Riddick was revealed to be leaving at the end of the month. Last night, PW Insider would reveal an email that was sent out to WWE staff in recent hours, with current WWE President Nick Khan asking employees to stay home and work remotely today as workforce reductions will be rolling out. In a follow-up report from House of Wrestling, it was revealed that this will likely stretch to the talent roster as major cuts are set to hit both the main and developmental rosters, and Nick Hausman would write, "Unfortunately, while inquiring about whether there would also be talent releases as well, we were told by a WWE source that major cuts are expected to the WWE main roster and NXT brand. We were not explicitly told that the cuts would be coming tomorrow, September 19, which is now today, but we were told they have been planned for some time." It would later be clarified by PW Insider that members of the WWE roster, the production team, on-air talents, and those who work with talents such as producers, coaches, etc. would not be part of today's cuts, at least according to those they spoke to. With that said, it appears that talent releases are expected in the near future. Whilst we have yet to hear of any talent releases, Jamie Horowitz, who was the Executive Vice President of Development and Digital, Catherine Newman, WWE's Executive Vice President and Head of Marketing, as well as Amanda Bloom, WWE's Director, Enterprise Master Data and Governance, have all been let go as the UFC and WWE continue to combine behind-the-scenes divisions, leading to multiple redundancies. It's also been reported by PW Insider that the WWE Network and podcasting divisions have also been hit by the cuts, and whilst the exact number isn't confirmed, there's been talk that 40 to 50 employees are already gone, and potentially even more. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 facts that MJF doesn't want you to know.